we got it fixed, and we're up. Welcome to Pillage Overload.
Which sucks. My whole fun beginning now was lame.
But
and that is the week we have been going through, folks. Daylight savings time screwing everything up.
We have something go wrong with the microphones.
I can sit here and network all the computers in the house. Mm-hmm. So I can access files from every single computer in the house. Yet every week we have issues with these mics.
Something go wrong during our live stream.
Because last week when we were watching, by the way, if you didn't see last week's episode, Measuring Up, go watch it.
Yeah, check it out because it's a lot of fun.
I ruled the roost on that one with math and talking all of it, but it was a lot of fun, and I make math fun. So, but
yes,
we noticed on it because he had his mic on. We were using the one mic last week, but these mics there's technical, directional, all this
directional.
Crap. So
we had the wrong setting on the microphone
because we were using them,
and it was pointing at her, and it doesn't need to point at her because you can normally hear her. I was being nice. You can normally hear her. Fine.
Hello, Christina. So anyway,
I'm the low talker. I need the microphone.
So
I have it now, and I'm happy.
Happy as a clam. Back to Bobo. Welcome, Brenda and Deb and Navi. Can't forget Navi. And Christina Payne, hello, beautiful lady. How you doing? And it's the Glunster, our time to get me grog on. Ooh, I thought me had too much grog already. Don't worry, you would have thought it when you walked on and there was no sound. You were like, wait a minute, huh?
Yeah. Huh? You'd have been like, wait a minute. How much did I have to drink before I came in here? So we got to figure it out.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing is part of the other bark. The other technology thing today was Wild Island had a launch. We were hoping to see it, but alas, it was too bright.
But we didn't, unfortunately.
JP Jr., drink my rum. That's what this will be later, Ballast. So Ballast.
We got something here. So this is a special little thing going
Ballast
on.
is going to be taking the lead this week because obviously it was his idea and drinking and all that. But before we jump into that, daylight savings time blows. we need to pirate together and kill this thing. It sucks. I'm still struggling with it. I'm over it. I'm tired. Right now I'm tired. Also been a week from hell for work, but anyway. We also had Pi Day 3.14. My favorite day. There was something else I wanted to mention, but I totally forgot. We got a lot of shit going on.
So coming up this weekend is MTA, which stands for Military Through the Ages, which they run at Jamestown, the fort, the museum, that whole thing. It's going to be awesome.
It starts from the Roman era, Rome. So they got them. They're all in.
Jr.? Yeah, JP Jr. If you want to come down and check it out, me and Mr. Willis are going to be at the Jamestown Fort, walking around at MTA. So
Bobo and I'll be visiting before I have to run off to a
the ladies got to
baby shower. One of our crew is a pregnato and about to pop one out very short period of time. So, by the way, if you're on and you're watching and you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Please.
That's Spanish for pregnant. She's going to a baby shower during the day that day and leaving Mr. Willis and I alone.
Oh, I'm leaving Mr. Willis in capable hands.
Yeah.
But subscribe. Give me babies by subscribe.
Notify.
Get my numbers up.
Ring the bell.
Well, you wouldn't be here if you didn't ring that bell for notification. So, welcome. We are on our second to last live. Next week is our final of the season, and it's about women pirates. I know that's what you're all waiting for. We're gonna end the season with a bang.
Just so you're aware, tonight's episode is about pubs. So
pubs and grog awesome. And a bunch of pirates
pubs, like Rattleskull Pub and
you're making sure you're not hitting that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get under here.
We'll be back. Right. We are taking summer off. I think we've decided that we were going to attempt to do some lives during the summer, but with the way the schedule is quickly
Yeah.
panning out.
Lives are a bad idea
Yeah.
during the summer.
MTA obviously is what he's talking about. That is not an official crew event. We go and we support. We know some of the crews down there. We go and kit. Enjoy it's really good. We get to start seeing a lot of people get really excited about being a part of it. But our first full event of the season is April 15th, which is Turtle's first annual Pirate Rendezvous and Fantasy Fair.
Mr. Britt Bransel.
Mr. Britt Bransel.
Putting on an event in Thomasville, North Carolina.
Yep. So we'll be there. That's from 8:30 to 4 is what it's open. And then 6 p.m. there is a concert. So
should be fun. It's going to be fun. It's a small event, but the small events are actually, I think, the most fun because it's, it just feels like a little close-knit community. And
now you know why I put my mic over there.
Yeah. Everybody knows everybody. Thank God I got this little thingy.
And I love it because you can't see it. JPJ is blocking my mic. He's perfectly situated. That's what he's talking about. That's Turtle. We call it the Turtle event. That's the 15th. And then Yorktown, which is essentially, Blackbeard Pirate Festival is one of the largest festivals on the East Coast, but we consider Yorktown to be our Blackbeard Festival. We're on the beach. It's all weekend, and that is really one of the biggest events we get everybody at.
It's really the event that kicks off the season because
it's full encampment. It's a 2-day event. Most of our crew comes in. We have full kitchen. It's insane.
It's local,
and we're growing with our crews, so we're definitely having more people in encampment. We got some people returning back to the camp, which we're really excited about. It's just this year is just going to be crazy, and it's really good. We're really excited, and there's still events possibly popping up that we might be going to. Ballast and I will be vending at the Turtle event, and we will be vending at Harvest Fair.
It's actually called the first annual Pirate Rendezvous
and Fantasy Fair.
Fantasy Fair, yeah. Yeah, that. What she said.
Twice. Twice now.
Dos.
Hey, Ballast.
Hey, what?
What did the ocean say to the pirate?
What?
Nothing. He waved.
You're pulling this now on the live stream? Is that what's going on here?
Oh, guess what? I get to break into the book now.
Yeah. Guess what reel you're going to be seeing pop up in your feed next week?
What? You guys love them, don't you? The leak one I was
trying to be sneaky.
I
had no idea that was coming.
And to be fair, not all of them are great.
No, they're not supposed to be.
No, well,
that's the whole point.
I screwed a couple of them up really bad. Somebody made a comment on one. He's like, neither of y'all get it. And I went like, yeah, you're right, because I screwed it up royally. Because I get all laughing ahead because I was thinking the joke in my head and just kind of trip over myself with some of the jokes. I'm not a big. I got to read it before I do it, and some of these I try to memorize,
get in your head,
and I really
come attack me with
the leak one.
Stupid jokes.
The leak one's my favorite. That's still my favorite. That's a pirate's least favorite vegetable. Leeks.
Oh my God.
And I like cooking with leeks, by the way. Leeks are very, very yummy. So, Bobo, you need to get in the hotline and tell Mr. Willis to get his butt in here. And then he's blowing up my feed for the rest of the evening.
If we don't remind the crew like 15 times in the day before the live stream starts.
Bo, Deb, and Brenda got it, so they're good.
Yeah.
Yummy. Yeah, I like leeks.
The ones that actually pay attention to the shit that's going on.
It's not promised, but it'll be there.
So
we're obviously our pirate jokes are up there, and we did we got that new series on our channel, the Pirate Library. They're very short, so it's just me reading the back of the book. These are the books that we have, and any of the ones that I'm starting with the ones that we have read and have opinions on.
Yeah, I need to do one.
Yeah, we'll post our opinions of them, but it's a lot of the research that comes into this. You guys saw the Black Sand Bellamy between the bulkheads. That was a lot of just discussing the different research stuff, and I'm pretty sure that we will probably have another Between the Bulkheads after the Lady Pirate one, because there's always lots to talk about with them and our favorite pirates.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we need to do another episode of Between the Bulkheads.
well, it hasn't been really too well, obviously you're not interested in anything that has to do with math, so that's why last week was all me.
We do need to find a subject.
You were the comic
worthy of.
You were the comic relief last
show.
week. I'll be the comic relief this week.
Finding a subject that's worthy of that show is the whole point of it.
Oh, I think we find out.
Trying to bring it a little bit more in depth than what we cover.
I don't think we can ever really plan for a episode of Between the Bulkheads. It's going to be coming from our discussions on this.
Shoot from the head.
Yeah. But back to the season. So next week is the end of season 8. We will be back in September. Sure. We'll be back in September. Actually, we might start the end of August because we are not going to be around for a week in September. So maybe we'll start a week earlier to get our 12 episodes in. We're only doing 12 episodes.
And don't forget, we're going to be doing the show at 7:30 instead of 8:30. We're going to be starting earlier.
For
those of you who are subscribed to Smoke and Bacon, we will be doing an kind of like after show.
It's an after hour, basically.
After show in Smoke and Bacon.
Uncensored pirates.
So if you want to get that app, it's on the Play Store and
Apple and all that.
Apple and all that.
It's free.
It's free. It's been cleaned up.
Pirate service announcement. You can there's a lot of groups and there are a lot of people go in that app are people who don't like Facebook, who want freedom of speech and all that. So you
be prepared.
You
for
pick
that.
And choose the groups you want to be a part of. If you don't want to deal with any other groups, you do not have to be a part of any groups. If you just want to come be a part Port Royal with us, you can do that.
Which is the name of
our community that's in there. But
you can literally go into that app and only select Port Royal.
Actually, if you go to our website, down at the bottom where it talks about all of our social media links, the YouTube and all that, there is an extra link down there that will take you to the login sign up page for the Port Royal community. Yeah. So that is on there. It is fun. JP Jr. is one of our buddies. We met him through the app. Great guy. Real.
So those of you that are not familiar with the app can go use that link and go directly to
if you want to come to
Royal.
us.
And
there is no limitations. There is no. This is why we say go to the groups you want, because it's for us to be open and not get slapped, demonetized, yelled at. We could be as wide open as we want. Yeah. Which is anybody.
So be prepared for that because it is wide open.
If anybody who's been seeing our shows, actually, if you go watch some of our older ones that I have posted on the channel, you could tell we've had a little bit, a bunch of libations on some of them.
Yeah, they're probably not going to monetize any of those episodes.
No. Hey, and I haven't even posted some of the worst ones between me and you.
Even with the fact that they just got a little bit more lax on their swearing rules, still, it's a little bit saucy.
I am a military brat. I am a pirate. I work in construction, and I am a tomboy. So my language is not clean. Yeah, they were good. It would be good days. It'd be fun to get back into there and doing that. So we'll have our normal episode like this, and then we'll do the after hours where we're wide open. And then those who are used to seeing us at the 8:30, if they want to come join us at the after hours. If not, we'll be here 7:30 to 8:30. And I know we are already talking about doing a couple episodes on William Kidd, which you'll figure out later in tonight's show why we're going to be talking about William Kidd.
Yeah, he's one of the pirates, the infamous pirates that
he was a privateer.
That is worthy of a couple episodes, and we haven't covered them yet. So at least in depth with episodes that he deserves.
There's a lot. He's another one like Morgan where there's a lot of information.
Which is the reason that he hasn't gotten his own full episode because there's a lot of information and he needs a full episode or
And
2 to cover.
we like some other pirates more.
Yeah, so it'll be a similar thing to like what we did with Sam Bellamy.
But we like him.
It'll it'll be his career and then how his career ended. So one episode will probably be his, it'll cover his career, and then the second episode will cover how his career went.
His career ended quickly.
Right in the toilet.
And then let's see what else for quick updates. Last updates. The website. Okay, so
the website. We've been having fun with that this week.
I was trying to do something. I was trying to be smarter and change the subscription. The platform we're on was changing their platform. So they're like, well, the one that we're on is legacy and they're trying to move everybody off of it. All right, cool. Do that. As soon as they got me off of it and onto the new platform and I'm looking at it, they don't accept anything but if you use Stripe, if anybody's familiar with that, Stripe Pay, it's like Square. It's the only payment method they take, which does credit cards and all, but no PayPal. And I know we do have a lot of customers who like using PayPal. We use Square, especially for in-person vending. Square. So that kind of boggles that. And then the other, there's some other things, but one of the hugest one that was really upsetting, and it got even more upsetting because we just shared it yesterday, right? It was yesterday, the crate.
Yeah.
Ballast's merchant crate plans, which are immediate PDF downloads, is something new we're doing this year. Is all the stuff he works on and creating these plans. And of course, the new platform doesn't allow digital downloads. And I'm like, nope.
Yeah. So there's that.
Small business.
So we will be revamping the website soon in the future.
It's
so
back
look out for that.
It's back to where it was. It's back to its regular programming.
For right now, it's back to normal. So, but in the future, since we're switching to Square and all that, it's gonna probably change a little bit. We're gonna try and keep it.
I like this
looking similar with the same aesthetic.
When he says
I guess is the word you wanted to say.
Rebuilding it, like I joke about, it's like we could build a website. I can network computers and I can do all this crap, but we can't get the damn mics to work on an episode
ever. Like for 15 episodes, we've been trying to figure out how the hell to get the microphones to work, and I think we may have figured it out. I hope so, because damn it, next season I don't want to have these problems anymore. I just want to sit here and talk and be heard.
All I know is that go back in the first episode where we started Pillage Overload episode 1 home, not the one we did a polar plunge, where I turned on the live stream and what did it do? Point at the back of the shed, because that's where we started, was in our shed, and had moved in here once we knew it was going to get
very first episode
hot, because we were talking, that was when summer
was rolling around, so we had to move it somewhere else.
We didn't have any season, we didn't have any guidelines. There were more like suggestions.
Us being smart pirates, we came inside where there's air conditioning during summer.
The bar wasn't always here. If you go back and look at some of our older,
for real,
the season, I think I did a lot of season finales up there.
And it changed. We kind of had a running joke about it when we were on Smoking Bacon. That we used to joke with everybody, and JP Jr., if you're on, you'll remember this, about like we do scavenger hunts where we ask everybody to
what's new on the set.
See if you can figure out what's new on the set, because we were literally changing the set every week.
Well, we were antiquing and getting a lot of cool stuff, and then you were working on. Oh yeah, absolutely. So
it still evolves. I mean, look, we got the Jolly Roger up there, Skull and Crossbones.
Yeah, I'm glad it's there, not where it was. That thing was in our living room, and if you laid on the couch and took a nap and woke up, the light from the end table, the side table, would shine on that and look like eyeballs staring at you. I got a picture of it. I'll post it in the community tab.
It really does. It was
scared the living daylights out of me the first time it was on.
It's kind of creepy.
So, but this is our tavern, Rattleskull Pub.
Yeah.
And what eventually we do in the evening. So, but tonight's theme, because it is the Irish edition, and Ballast and I are Scottish, but it's close enough. So,
yeah, Scotland. pretty close to
We're
Ireland.
pirates. It's all. It doesn't matter.
We'll go with that.
I'll drink to that.
So I guess since we're talking about the Rattleskull Pub, we can talk about how we came up with that name. It was put out there
To smoking bacon.
when we were in smoking bacon. Actually,
There was a bunch of names we put out there.
It's actually a drink.
Rattleskull is a drink.
The Rattleskull is a drink. It's a kind of a thing they did in the 18th century. They would just take everything they had, the beer, the alcohol, and whatever was left over at the end of the night, and just mix it together to get rid of it. And they called it a rattleskull because
your skull
in the morning would be rattling. Basically, it would give you a pretty good hangover. So we put that out there to the community.
There was a bunch of other stuff we put in with it. There was
there were a couple other names, but that one won out, and we love it. It's a really cool name, and it fits. The drink fits our.
Yeah, because it's rum. Well, mostly they do now is rum, lime juice, and simple syrup, which just seems so lame. Oh,
Yeah.
Here it is. Rattleskull is a no. Oh, because it's dag nabbit. It's because it's Washington Post, so I can only read so much. A traditional colonial era quaff. The Rattleskull was a big boozy tavern drink. It was
a big quaff
with hard liquor. I can't see it fast enough, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's Washington Post, and you need to be subscribed, and I don't want to subscribe because I don't like them. Anyway, I'll go back to the chat. So yeah, it's a colonial era type drink.
It is basically
we have a list.
Is what I was saying.
We need to find a list of all the drinks that we were looking at before. So I don't know, but anyway, go for it.
All right, so now that we covered that,
Rattleskull Pub.
I'm ready for this one.
You're going to jump right to back? And pub is short for public house.
We're going to jump right into our drink that we have sitting on the bar here.
Well, what is it? And this is why I was joking about us being Scottish and not Irish.
This is called Glasgow Punch. Well, it kind of melted. I don't know if we want to put that in.
No, there's other... I thought you just had ice.
There was...
There's your regular drinks in there.
Hmm?
Give me the cups. I'll go get ice while you talk.
So
why would you do that? You have other drink in there, not just ice. I thought it was just plain ice.
I didn't think it was going to melt that fast. Sorry. Yeah, so this is called Glasgow Punch. Glasgow. I'm Scottish. I can say it however I want.
Well, you're definitely not doing it in Scottish language.
Glasgow. How about that?
Accents.
The Glasgow Punch. It is basically rum, water, lemon juice, lime juice, and sugar in a mixture that we figured out because we found a recipe for it and broke it down and made some, and it's been steeping for a few hours, and now we're about to have some and try it out. We haven't had it yet, so you're going to get our reaction to it, how it tastes. Hopefully it's good.
Sorry, I had to give the ice text.
Sorry. I put ice in my cup, but I forgot there was a little bit of drink left in there, and the ice melted into the drink. So
and of course there's ice, so I had to give the doggos ice text, the ice text, because
so we're going to give it a shot right here. This would have been served in the 18th century, so this mixture is an 18th century drink.
Thank you.
That we are about to try.
Do you want me to put just a little bit?
Just go for it. I can't imagine.
Here, we'll start with that.
I can't imagine me not liking anything that has rum in it.
Did you tell him what it was? Did you tell him what it was?
Yeah.
Did you tell him what it was?
Yeah.
See, it looks so pretty too. I like the way it just looks.
So when she juiced the lemons and the limes, we just threw them into the.
It's citrusy. It's good for the scurvy.
Into the pitcher.
Bottoms up.
Bottoms up. Ooh.
Ooh, I like that.
That's not bad.
It's like rum lemonade.
Yeah. It's like lemonade with rum in it.
It's not bad at all.
Basically,
Oh, that's dangerous.
yeah. It's like homemade lemonade with rum in it. Is
Mhm.
basically what that tastes like.
Yeah, there's a lot of pulp, obviously, because we put them all in there. And I didn't filter it, but well, I like that. That's really
That's
good.
pretty good.
That's a good summer drink.
It'll make you pucker.
Ooh, that'd be good for camp.
And what's cool about
Camp
it is you
drink.
can,
Bo said camp drink.
for really, Bo, we actually said we should make this
Pass it
for camp.
around. It is yummy.
And what's cool about it is if you throw all the lemons and the limes in here, you can probably just keep adding rum and water to it and keep it going all night long.
Yeah. So if you've heard us talk about in the past, Ballast and I are doing keto or kind of doing keto. Woo! So a lot of natural sugars. So I use stevia in it. And honestly,
which actually
you can't get the aftertaste and anything on it.
If you hadn't told me there was stevia in this,
and not regular sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this. I like it a lot. I
think the natural
it's
flavor
bright
of the
and
lemon.
fresh and refreshing. But
It's definitely a good summer drink.
Yeah,
that's for sure. And with that, I think the lemon and the lime in there probably
it's majority of the lemon, and no, that sweetness is totally from the stevia. Yeah, the lemon's the majority and the lime was the minority in this one.
No, it's really good. So that's a good way to kick off the show with a great drink
after a half hour into it again. Half hour into the show.
Don't worry, if we finish this, we got more over here. We're at a pub. We ain't got a problem.
Nope.
We got plenty to drink.
Well, we said pub. You didn't tell. So I said pub was short for public house because you kind of just glazed over that one.
Well, that's a cool thing. I actually didn't realize that pub is short for public house. So in the 18th century, pubs were a big gathering place. Everybody in town. There were usually one or two in town.
The water hole.
In London, there were probably plenty of pubs, but if we want to start out there, in London, pubs were a gathering place to talk about politics, to talk about things that were going on. It's basically I would equate it now with
remember it's a school night.
You can kind of equate it now with like cable news channels. So that's the place you're gonna go to get your news, right? You're gonna migrate to one of the cable news channels.
So Port Royal had one pub for every 10 people on there because they had so many taverns, or was that the
there were a lot. I don't remember.
Or was that the lady's house?
That's a nice way to put it.
It was probably both, honestly.
The ladies' house.
Night. Yep, it was a lady's house. Lady of the manor.
Yeah.
You're gonna keep hitting that.
Mm-hmm.
Here.
I don't care.
Put it there. I think Port Royal was like one in every. Was one for every 10 people in Port Royal, which is why
it was a ridiculous number. I don't remember exactly what it was, but
it was
a ridiculous
in the teens or lower
amount of pubs and what would you want to call it? What's your
I said lady house.
Lady's house.
You getting fresh and taking it all?
Fresh? I didn't take it all.
Continue on. Keep talking.
Thanks. I will. So, back to what I was saying. You would equate it to the modern version of it would have been like all your cable news channels. So that's where everybody migrates to get their news from. In the 18th century, everybody went to the pub or the bar, tavern, whatever you want to call it. And that's where you got your news. You hung out with your friends. You maybe got, if they served food, some of them served food. It would have been a basic meal, and it would have been the same thing all day long. You would have gone there. Maybe if you were in the upper class, some of the upper class pubs, they would have had, you would have been going there to make business deals, things like that.
If only we're like that today.
Yeah, it would be nice if people talked and
Like people can't talk
hung
politics.
out like they
and-
did back.
Yeah, but the unfortunate thing is you can't talk politics
Yeah,
in a
'cause
bar
you-
without people wanting to bring a bottle over your head.
Well, that and you got now at bars you got in the background, like back then there wasn't any big speakers in your ear playing music.
Who was a DJ in the 18th century?
Right. Well, I mean, they would have had entertainment. They probably in a nice pub they might have had entertainment. They might have had somebody playing a violin or somebody
Fiddle.
a fiddle. Lord.
It'd be
So they may have had entertainment. A lot of times they actually like to put on skits and things like that. So you might have gone into a pub where some kind of skit was going on, but mostly it was the talking politics and making business deals.
and there was beer and alcohol.
Yeah, lots of beer. Beer was a huge thing back then. It was kind of controlled by the government, so they had rules.
It's taxes.
Yeah, they had rules on it, and it was taxed.
Are you talking about the? Do you have anything about there about the peg?
Yes, I did. They actually had. So
on your
at a
list
certain,
there.
it's on there somewhere. I think it's down at the bottom more. But anyway, yeah. So they had a certain kind of mug. There
it was a
time,
communal mug. That's disgusting.
There was a time, and I don't remember exactly when it was, but one of the leaders put they basically said you can only drink. Everybody drinking was getting out of control, and I think this was later on in the 18th century, if I remember right. And so they had mugs. There was these huge mugs.
It looks like your barrel mug that you sometimes drink from.
Yeah, and they would give it to you in the pub, and it had pegs inside of it, and then so what it was is you could only drink as much as you
From
could
one
do.
level,
You
though.
could drink from one peg to another. So there might have been 15 pegs in it, right, in the mug. So you would take the mug, drink from peg to peg on your amount, and then you would hand it off to the next person.
But the problem is you would have to drink from peg to peg before you handed it off.
Yeah. So you're trying to like down it, like chug the beer.
So in the case of trying to curb the drinking,
yeah, which is originally why they started this thing.
It actually created more drinking.
They didn't realize that putting the pegs in the mugs actually made you drink more.
Yeah, because it forced the people to drink it before they were able to pass on.
Yeah, and they would drink quickly.
Drink more rum. They said hashtag drink more rum.
Yeah,
actually, it was more beer because it was not.
So those who
rum
were
back then.
Those who were governing didn't realize this.
They were idiots. You know how it goes. They make up the rules before they figure out the consequences, and then it doesn't work, and they're like, "Shit." Yeah, so that was interesting. First off, what I thought was interesting was when they said communal mug. I'm like, ew.
Yeah. Well, being that we just came out of COVID and all that,
Well, even before COVID, just being that we're
thinking
clean.
that you were drinking out of a communal. They didn't think like that back then, though. Things were more communal. That was the whole point.
I mean, I get it. They didn't understand how dysentery or any of that worked.
Yeah. And that was kind of the whole point of the pub, it was a communal thing. It was everybody was there, that was kind of the point. A gathering place, they didn't think about disease the way we think about it.
It was all witchcraft.
Yeah. Yeah. It was all witchcraft.
No, that's 17th century. Still, you never know.
Them witches.
What's the oldest,
crazy witches?
What's the oldest pub in London? Is it still around?
Well, there's a really old pub.
Really old?
Really old.
Like really, really?
The oldest pub on the river.
Really, really?
Really, really. So, it was this pub is the oldest dockside pub in London, and it actually still exists. It's called the Prospect of Whitby. And Whitby?
Whitby. Oh,
Prospect of Whitby.
okay. I thought you said Whippy. Whip
No.
it good.
Yeah.
Crack that whip.
Yeah, that's what they did at this place. Out back on the river.
Break your mama's back. Anyway.
So this was Prospect of Whitby was the oldest pub, the oldest dockside pub. So obviously in London you got the Thames River going through the middle of London,
And the
through the middle of the city.
And the Thames River used to be old dirty. They used to put their nasties in the water, and then we drink the water, and it would scurvy. Let me have some more lemon and limes. No wonder why most of them wanted to get on the ship. Get the hell out of that shithole, literally. Continue.
So
the Prospect of Whitby was right on the River Thames. Thames.
Thames.
Thames.
Thames.
Meow. Meow.
Silent H.
Tame that kitty. Meow meow.
So yeah, oldest dockside pub in London still exists, and this is where they hung the pirates. So
dun dun dun. So
dun,
guess
dun,
what?
dun.
We'll never be visiting.
You can still actually go through a little alley in this pub, and it goes back to a stairway that leads down to if the tide is out, which was kind of the thing. So they only did the hangings when the tide was out. So there's actually still a staircase that leads down to the beach,
The
dock, where everybody would have gone to see the pirates being hung, and the gallows is still there.
It may not be the
actually
original.
go through
It's
this little
clearly
alley
not the
and
original.
still see. Yeah, it's probably not.
It's
but
it's definitely
still
not
cool.
the original.
It's still cool to think that. I mean, really, it's still the same location, and it's still the same pub.
Mm-hmm. And it's
the actual gallows may not be the original, but you're walking the footsteps of where they may have dragged a pirate out there.
You told
William Kidd.
This is one of those things I'm gonna go, I told you so.
It's why it's on this thing.
Yeah, no, you hitting that doesn't mean that those poor people hearing you whip it around, whipping it good. The piece that you did not say is what that dock was. It's
an execution dock.
Thank you.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that little tidbit. What?
Well, whole different kind of hangover for pirates at that pub.
Yeah, and let me tell
Glad you said that because there's more to it. But wait, there's more.
Really? So actually, a lot of times when they brought the pirates down there to be hung at Execution Dock, they let them stop at other pubs along the way.
So we just learned this recently. Haven't done any research on it, but it still seemed legit. I mean, it did seem legit.
Yeah, well, it's 18th century England,
right?
You know, they got away with a lot more back then. So apparently, legend goes, that they would actually stop. So if a pirate was on his way to Execution Dock to be hung, they would actually stop at
pub crawl.
Pubs. Yeah, they do a little pub crawl. Do a little pub crawl on the way and get hammered. So a lot of times the pirates were already wasted by the time they got down
I
to the
can't think of
dock.
anything that's like clever with pub crawl, pub hang. It's pub because it wasn't. They weren't crawling by the end of it.
Yeah, well, so they might have been really drunk by the time they got down to the execution dock to be hung, which was kind of a thing.
And they
I
had
guess.
a short drop and a sudden stop. I did it right. If you watch other seasons, you get it. I'm excited. I got it right. I butcher that so bad every time.
So after these wonderful pirate friends of ours got hung, they leave him in what is called a gibbet, which
give it.
you would, I guess you could call it a small
It's a
cage that is just
it's
big
like
enough
a
to fit.
coffin-shaped body cage. Where look,
Yeah, it's just big enough for a man to stand up inside of. What?
Did you hang out last night?
What? Did I hang out? What are you talking about?
At the pub. At the pub. Did you hang out last night?
Yeah, we went and hung out at the pub. Maybe that's where that term came from. See what you did there?
Oh man, that was great. I'm sitting here trying to figure out like shit to say to get him all. That was a good one.
So when they got to the prospect of Whitby, they may have had their last drink and went out back and
willingly,
not willingly, got hung in front of a whole crowd of people.
Because that was their soap opera. That was their
this was entertainment. This was entertainment in the 18th century. This is like everybody was going up and down the streets like, hey, somebody's being hung. Come on,
you said it was dinner and a show.
Well, here's your show.
There's your show.
Right? So one of the infamous pirates to be hung at
Privateer.
Oh, sorry, privateer.
He was a privateer.
Not a pirate.
Depends on who you believe.
Yeah.
And if you believe somebody stole his papers.
Yeah.
Papers, please. Papers.
William Kidd.
Tickets.
Who
we were talking about earlier tonight.
We did. And he was the one that the Indian...
No, what?
The Indian ship? Isn't he the one?
Oh, yeah, Kate a Merchant.
Yeah.
Yes, the one I kept saying every week that I need to check. And
where he thought he was...
He was right, because the flag they were flying was what he, as a privateer, he was allowed to take. And then when he got... and there was actually papers and everything, but...
He had letters of marque.
They were... it was found to be that they were owned by English. It was convoluted. It's like, how can you tell if... Yeah.
Some crazy way he wasn't
excuse me.
They figured out that he wasn't actually allowed to take this ship.
No, it was just that was a very powerful, it was part of the East India and all that, because he took it, he pissed off the wrong people in the right places, and the documentation that he happened to have that said that he was in the right disappeared. But I digress. That's our favorite term. Digress. That's obviously something that we haven't gotten too much with William Kidd. I mean, I know a plenty of from the research and everything.
These are things we're going to be talking about when we do the episode.
Yeah, he was killed in 1701, I believe. I think it was early 1700s. And when I say early 1700s, I mean like before 1705.
Stop it. Just, I don't care.
But that's why we don't touch too much on him. Most of the stuff we do is Sam Bellamy, Black Sam, the 1712s and 15s.
The thing we're going to touch on tonight is when he got hung.
Yeah, because it's all at execution dock.
So we're going to do the end before the beginning. You're going to thank us later for this, because this is one of the craziest things
the end
that has ever happened in the hanging of a pirate. So William Kidd,
one of,
they get him to execution dock, get him strung up, right? So they pull the bottom out and the rope breaks.
There's also short ropes too. They did it so that it wouldn't break your neck. They would
Well,
strangle.
in this case, it broke the rope.
Yeah, didn't break his neck, broke the
Yeah.
rope.
So they got it. He must have fallen on the ground, I guess, and they picked him up,
broke the rope. That's where he landed.
fixed the rope, and they strung his ass up there again and hung him for good the second time.
Part 2.
Yeah, William Kidd Part 2.
Hey, did you know that Brendan Fraser, when he was filming The Mummy, that the hanging scene, he was really hanged?
I didn't know that. Yes.
Yeah, he almost died.
Yes.
But did you die?
No.
Cake or death?
Cake, please.
No more cake or? But do you have a flag?
So all this leads to, obviously London wasn't the only place that there were pubs, because now the colonies
Oh,
have
hell yeah.
pubs.
Same idea with England with the pubs here. I mean, they copied everything over there when they brought it
As
here.
it happened in England, so it happened in the colonies.
That's why it's
also.
called New England, not just Old England.
Really?
Copycats.
It's a good thing you're not a Tom Brady fan.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yeah. Guess who he never won the Super Bowl against? Go Giants.
Clearly at this time, they were, thank you. We had the colonies still going on. During the Revolutionary War, pubs were a huge gathering place because they would make plans in the pubs. Again, talking politics. They were talking politics at the time in the Americas, probably getting all pissed off at England. Because,
like we do.
Yeah. They're trying to hide out from the English because the English were, during the Revolutionary War, they're infiltrating the colonies, and they're
pretty sure there's some couple.
I'm sure there were spies everywhere.
I'm sure there's a couple of reels you clipped this past season by me.
Right. If you've ever seen the series Turn, you'll know exactly what we're talking about.
Instead of God,
they covered a lot of that.
Instead of is it God damn you Adams, it's like God damn you English.
Between the pubs and the churches, that's where things got planned. And
honestly, the horrible thing is that things still get planned in pubs, bars, whether they're sound plans.
Yeah. Whether they're
there's a lot to be helped with that one.
Whether they're good plans or not.
Yeah.
That's another subject.
I'd be interested if anybody who's actually watching the live or replaying it, if you guys have ever been to some of the oldest pubs in America, well, not just America, but in England, because there's one in Fredericksburg. We were just watching. That's where we got this from.
That's actually where we got the recipe.
Was it called the Colonial? They were just called the Colonial Tavern. I think it was just called
something Sun, wasn't it?
I don't remember. It was
Google it.
It was a pub tavern, so basically
tavern.
It was a B&B, pretty much. That's kind of what they were back then, which is
it was a pub B&B,
which is
I don't know. We don't know. We're looking it up. Google is your friend.
Google is my friend. But what's kind of interesting is that I think when I was looking for a location for us to get married, I looked at this place.
We need, Joe Rogan has Jamie. Hey, Jamie, why don't you look that up for us?
Yeah, when we start making that kind of money, we'll have somebody sitting right there.
Yeah.
And doing all the sound and lighting and
put it up on
all that shit that we're trying to do at the same time. Put it up on
the 80-inch screen for us.
It's Colonial Tavern.
Called the Colonial Tavern.
It is called the Colonial Tavern.
How imaginative is that?
That's why I was saying. It's like, I'm pretty sure it's called the Colonial Tavern. But Colonial Tavern
It
is
must have been,
in
pirates must have named that place.
right. Us unimaginative folks. I'd be interested if you guys have ever gone. I've been to the one at Monticello. I've been there before. My mom and I actually, when I was going
the one that we
in,
just watched about Charlottesville, something
it's,
starts with M.
it's in Monticello.
Yeah, no, what it's I don't remember.
Anyway,
Whatever.
so
Anyway.
I've been there before when I was going prospecting UVA. Wahoo, engineer. Yay. Been to one in Philly, don't remember the name because I was 3 sheets. So you enjoyed that pub really well. Yeah, the one in Monticello, that was pretty cool. I don't remember the food there. Obviously, Williamsburg, us, the crew, we've been to a couple of those. I don't remember if I ever hit a old pub when my mom and I were traveling overseas. Honestly, the only serious drinking I remember when I was over there, we were hungover for Christmas in Paris, and then getting to Amsterdam and being in the bar, and a guy coming up like, "Dude, you want some?"
You guys were just downstairs from your hostel.
Yeah, well, you look at those damn stairs, and you would have cried too after knee surgery and walking.
I don't know if you can call that a pub. That's just downstairs where they serve drinks.
No, it was a pub.
Well,
it was a bar atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. It was cozy, the glass and everything.
Everybody, the pubs over there. We're watching something about how
the glass.
Yes,
That's what you're talking about. The glass section.
Yes, here's an interesting
we're
thing we
saw.
Too,
by the way.
Yeah. An interesting thing we saw. This guy was going around pubs in England, and he was talking about in the latter part of the
there was a glass
18th
tax,
century.
Right.
They they changed the laws where they weren't drinking where they were trying not to drink as much, and they came up with porter beers. So porter was kind of taking over, and so people weren't drinking as much. So they would pubs would try and do things to attract people to get into their pubs. So one of the things they did was made this reflective glass and etched their glass. So when you walked in, it was all like reflective and trippy, and they had glass panels
totally
everywhere
trippy,
with etchings on them.
When we said
and
70s, we didn't mean 1770s.
So you would walk into a pub, right? And back then, obviously, they didn't have electricity, so it was very low lit. So at night, when you had all these reflective windows and glass
makes
and all
sense
that,
when you think of it like that.
It would reflect the light and like be real trippy. So all these pubs were competing, and everybody was trying to get the better glass windows and like the better interiors.
Imitation is the idea of that you walk by and you looked and you were either inquisitive or you wanted to go in there. No, it's all
so, and they would do it on the windows that face the street too. So like if you etch a piece of glass, it's kind of foggy and you can't see through it. But then they would have those sections where where the light would shine through, and then they were trying to create that intrigue. So maybe you would be like, "Oh, what's going on in there?" So you walk in and like
get sucked in, man.
Really trippy glass panels inside the pub, and that was their way of getting you in there to drink. So it was kind of cool. And they still do it.
The art behind glass etching is pretty amazing.
There's still people in London that do this and make this glass.
I think there's still
it's really cool.
There's still people with any of these arts. The fact that they still survive and are still doing it's pretty amazing. Yeah, and that people there's
still artisans out there that do this kind of stuff.
They're not going to give it up,
and it's really cool.
But yeah, the trippy. I love you get to call it trippy.
Is where way to trip you, man.
No, but I would agree. We do.
All right.
I was wondering when you were doing that tonight.
My movie reference. Suck it.
We have 2 pubs at least in this area that we've been to one with our couple of our best friend Smoke and Lindsay, who comes out and she's actually helps us vend. That it's up near the train station. We kind of went in there and hung out for a little bit when we were walking around downtown. But Bottoms Up Pizza and all that. There's that one. And then the other one is Penny Lane, which is pretty old. I don't think we've been there. But those are the 2 right off the top of my head in Richmond, Virginia that come up. That if you say pub, that's what I think of for there. Most of the other places that kind of say that, I mean, Brew calls himself kind of a pub.
What was that? It was just called the Euro Pub or something, whatever. When we went on that pub crawl and we went downstairs. And
No. That was a European restaurant
that place was cool.
And they unfortunately closed.
It was like
It was European.
It was cool. It's like a French bistro upstairs, but then you went down these stairs and it was like all like
very Greek and Mediterranean
pub style, like English pub style. It was really cool. The big beams everywhere and all that.
Bo's been to Penny Lane. Yeah, it's actually kind of cool.
Lane.
But yeah, no, that's not a pub. That was a Mediterranean Euro joint.
It was cool though.
It was, and I don't
the bar downstairs
know honestly what it is anymore. But it's like everything around here. It's not.
No, I don't know.
That Euro places, and I don't know if they replaced it something different.
It was a cool
but
place
a lot of things here in Richmond, a lot of small business, small restaurants, they switch over. It's still a lot of fun to go check it out. So,
it's that time.
Tavern. So to everybody, tomorrow, have a sweet St. Patrick's Day. Be safe. Hope you guys go out and if you didn't do parades last weekend, hope you do a parade this weekend. Ballast and I are going to be at the Irish Festival next weekend.
MTA this weekend.
This weekend. Next weekend's Irish. We're going to be parading it up.
Yep. Downtown Churchill.
Then we're done with the
Patrick
live.
Henry gave
his
speech, give me liberty or give me death.
Yeah, I finally know that the right way now.
Give me cake or give me death.
Cake or death. Cake or death. In the meantime, if you guys are interested in any topics for next season, season 9, like I said, we'll be back in the fall. We would love to hear what you guys want to hear. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Real quick. I am sorry if you were following and you were getting spammed by reels and shorts and all this. I was trying to do a 60-day campaign and I gave up after 12 days when people started unfollowing us. So,
we were supposed to get 30,000 followers.
We were supposed to. So as soon as I started losing followers, like, all right, I'm over this. But if you're on the channel, if you haven't subscribed, please
got like 5.
Subscribe. No, unfollowers. That's what we got. Unfollowers.
We made up for it though.
After I stopped posting.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the channel.
After we stop.
It's not a big part for you guys. It means a lot to us. It helps us be able to move to the next level of what we want. Ring the bell. We only around one more week, just so you get that notification. Yeah. We do have a lot of new stuff coming up over the summer. Just because we're not live doesn't mean we won't be having shows. And then we'll be back
next week
for season 9. We'll be back next week, and we'll be back for season 9.
Yes,
end of August. So until then.
Hashtag.
I
gotta go shut off the show.
Hashtag Ballast needs to run over to the camera. Oh man. Yeah, it's daylight savings time just blows. I think we're all over it. Anyway, until next week, everybody, you have a safe one. Happy St. Patrick's, happy Pi Day, International Women's Month, and all that good stuff. So hashtag drink more rum. Yeah, I'm not gonna drink out of that. Night.